Live with Kevin Rankin.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here at All Access Live with Kevin Rankin. Today's going to be a fantastic show with a whole bunch of badass cats from Portland, Oregon. But before we get started, go to this link below. Go to 5starguitars.com/allaccesslive. 5 stars based in Oregon, which means if you order outside the state, there's no sales tax. So you're saving a bunch of money. If you use that promo code of AllAccess15 and you go to the link that you see, you're going to save 15% off everything you see as well. So right now they have a special thing going on. It's their 25th anniversary. So you can get your dream guitar, you can save a bunch of money, and you can get repairs, you can get lessons. Professionals like Jennifer Batten actually teach out of that shop. So go to 5 Star Guitars, let them know that I sent you, and I appreciate their support. Also, if you're watching this on anything else other than YouTube, do me a favor and go to this link below. Go to youtube.com/@accesskevin. There, you can subscribe to the channel, you can like this video, but you can also become a member. And so members get exclusive benefits like certain access to shows that I'm doing touring around the country. If you become a member, I put you into a list. And a couple people actually got on the list for our House of Blues show in Houston this last weekend. Thank you very much for that. So become a member, and you'll also get exclusive access to certain interviews that I've done. So you'll notice if you're already a member that I just uploaded the Cy Kernan from The Fix episode that I did backstage at the Aladdin Theater. I also have Midge Ure from Ultravox, and I'll be releasing an interview with Kelly Keegy from Night Ranger from his house back in Phoenix. I'll be putting that up this week. So become a member. Now, I got to tell you, the next guest that I have coming up right now, Robert Anthony Robinson, is known throughout the Northwest as one of the greatest guitar players that anyone has ever seen. He's also got a killer band of Northwest phenoms, and I have every single one of them here. So to have pretty faces on camera and make me look a lot less pretty, I've got Robert Anthony Robinson, Chris Olney, and Dave Kinder, and an upside down Brian McGrew. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Brian. Oh, yeah. He's always got to be different every time, this guy, every time.
Awesome. Oh, and
first he's driving, now he's upside down, cheese and rice.
No, this is awesome. I hope you can keep your camera upside down. Actually, this is kind of like Tommy Lee's.
Hold on, fuck it, you guys, come on.
Oh, maybe we're upside down.
That's true, actually. Yeah, you know, the pandemic kind of made it feel like. So, Brian, if it's your phone or a device, just go ahead and pivot 180 degrees. See if this works.
It's ready? Guitar player competition. He's trying to one up me all the time.
Here we go. Okay, now one more.
One more
turn. One more turn. There we go. That's it. He's rocking.
All right.
It's the Robert Anthony Robinson Band. Oh, sweet. So Keith Parkhurst is in the chat. He says, "R.A.R for R.A.R." So,
Keith.
I have to ask, man, how did you guys come up with that incredible band name? It's clever.
Oh, we're going to start off being an asshole then. Okay. So we're going to start being a dick then. All right. So what happened was I had climbed the tallest mountaintop. Now, what happened was I was playing with all these bands, my band Love Lode, Passion Fail, and I was playing with Wild Dogs, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Say, who's that guitar player that plays with so-and-so?" And blah, blah. Who's that guy that blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that shit.
You can say anything you want. Yep, absolutely.
Excellent. Anyway, so I finally decided, next time I do something, I'm just gonna name it after myself. And I have a lot of names, as it turns out. And then so the R.A.R was just an abbreviation. And now I'm stuck, and I own this. I bought this for myself. People go, R.A.R.
Nice.
Right.
You trademarked.
So now I'm the asshole.
You trademarked the lion sound. Nice.
Right. So it's funny now. Sure. I own it.
It worked for Prince. Works for Madonna. Right?
Yeah, but you say Prince, and then you go R.A.R. Different levels.
Yeah, it's not as fierce.
We're good to go.
Hey, speaking of this, okay, so we had just off camera, we talked about having a Prince off. And I claimed that I was the world's biggest Prince fan. I came wearing my Prince shirt and my brand new Prince tattoo. But Robert Anthony Robinson claims that he is the world's biggest Prince fan. I even came with bling, you know, like Prince necklaces and stuff because I thought I could out Prince you. But the thing is, you're a phenomenal black guitarist, and so
Let me tell you a little story. Let me tell you a little story. Right after Purple Rain came out, it just so happened that I just happened to have a little dip, not unlike now, right?
yeah,
Well, my hair wasn't this long. I had a little dip like this. I went to see the movie Purple Rain in the theaters. There was, of course, it was packed, right? I walked down to the front of the front because there was like one seat, two seats in the front. I walked down the fucking freaking aisle, and the whole crowd started looking at me like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Apparently, I bore some resemblance to Prince. Maybe it was my eyeliner and my hair that was exactly like him, but I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe not. So at that moment, I knew that I was like this with Prince. If he
yeah,
knew this, he would probably be like this with me. But no, in my mind, we were like this,
you and I
like
both know.
this.
We can both agree that he may be the most sort of underappreciated guitarist on the planet, right? I feel like, you know,
I
besides
yeah,
Robert Anthony
okay.
Robinson.
You know, it totally sucks. My mom loves me, and I guess that's all that really matters.
You
And
know
these
who
guys,
else?
I mean, they hang
No,
around with Missy Chance.
okay, so where to give fairness here, um, I needed to get a hold of you long ago about coming on the show because I already knew what an amazing guitarist you were, and I made up some bogus idea that I just needed a lot bigger viewership to be able to get you on. So I wanted to wait till things built up a little bit before I had you on. But
Oh shucks, that's your
no,
story, and you're sticking to it. I commend that. I respect that.
no,
I
no,
respect that.
you deserve a much bigger audience than my show could even ever provide. But
I
no.
don't know about that. Yeah.
I was a late arrival to the Northwest, right? I moved here in '94, moved to Portland in '94. And I'd certainly heard about Love Lode and heard about Passion Fatal. And I'd heard about this guy, Robert Anthony Robinson. There were guys like Matt McCourt, right, who had his Wild Dogs, band
Skip.
and Dr. Mastermind, but he had been doing his U.S. metal show, right, and so around that time I was doing a lot of work that like Buko and Buck Munger's Two Louis magazine was sort of hip to, and
Yeah, Bob
so
Hunger. That was back in the day.
Wow.
Two
but
Louis.
but I gotta tell you, outside this area, there were other people that revered you and your drummer as well. Dave
Oh,
Kendall
yeah.
will know this that down in LA, running into DJ Will from KNAC, when he
Yes,
found out that I was
Mr.
from
David
Portland,
Kendall.
when I ran into like DJ Will, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know Gargoyle." I'm like, "How do you know Gargoyle?" And he said, "Oh man, Gargoyle." He said everybody knew about Black and Blue and the Dan Reed Network, but man, Gargoyle, that band, that was poised for the biggest thing ever. And so, and DJ Will, of course, talked about Wild Ducks, and Dean and Matt McCourt and Robert Anthony Robinson came late
It's
in that.
also incestuous around here. It's like a thing. It's
So
gross,
yeah,
really, but what else are you gonna do?
so there's some history there. We got Gargoyle represented. We got Love Lode and Passion Fatal and Wild Dogs. Now, I know some of the history about Brian McGrew here, right? I mean, like I know even back you had bands with Jeff Buhner back. You were doing the Jeff Carroll thing, right? From sort of a Hood River band, or which one? Hold on, I got to put your volume up just a little bit, buddy. Here, one sec. All right, one more time, Brian.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, so yeah, Dragonflies. You were in that band, right?
No. That was after.
Russian Brides.
I was left to go play in the Dragonflies, and then he and I he got into another band, and I joined the Russian Brides with him and Jeff Carroll.
That's right.
But way before that, he and I were in a band called Lon. So, yeah, we do go back.
Not in, and I know that it is kind of an incestuous like Northwest circuit. So, Chris, are you also from this area or from that area? I say this like as if I'm still there, but
Yeah.
He's from
Yes,
space.
yes, I am original from this area.
okay. And so, tell me about some of your musical history before this incredible Robert Anthony Robinson band.
Musical history. Wow, there's a lot of echo here. No, it's mostly me is coming in as an echo. Probably early '90s. Formed a band with Rodney Hardison.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Dave Miller and Brian Copeland, called Mr. Rattlebones.
Okay.
Had some local success with that for a couple of years, and then broke up, and then went on to some smaller projects, and then moved to Vegas for 11 years, and just did some cover band stuff there. I thought the music thing was over at that point, and
For you, it was like,
yeah,
okay,
for me,
yeah.
I was just like, you know, getting old in the tooth, long in the tooth, I should say. Moved back in 2011, and in 2013, Rodney Hardison invited me to join his new band, Factor 5,
Oh, right.
as their singer. And so I think we were together for about 4 years, and then that broke up. And about a year or so later, Robert called me actually on my birthday and said, "Hey, I'm revamping the lineup."
I planned all this shit out, every part of it.
Even
I'm
the
like-
plan
I'm
call him
like-
on his birthday.
I'm like, I'm intriguing. And he says, "I'm getting David Kendall." I said, "I'm in.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
I already know what the music sounds like. I'm in."
You
Yeah.
missed a couple parts. See, Rod was putting this band together, Rod and Lance, Lance Denny. And I kept bugging him. I'm like, dude, come play with us. Come play with us. Come play with us. Like, we don't have a singer. And finally, I think I was instrumental in pushing them and pressuring them so much. They're finally like, you know what? Let's get Chris to do it. And Chris turned out really good. So
No idea.
then I had booked a gig, and I had them come and play with us. And they smashed it. And so, once again, incest.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. All
Well,
like this.
you know, you guys are an all-star band, you know, of that area. And it's funny because a lot of times you can put together, like, you know, an all-star, whether in sports, right? You can assemble like 4 of the greatest, you know, players on the team, but the chemistry's not right, you know. But when you watch,
Oh my
these
God,
bands,
yeah.
I haven't gotten to see R.A.R live other than YouTube videos. I've seen individually I've seen each of you guys do individual projects and played with you, Brian, and but watching videos, you can see personality, you know. And I've known your personality for a while, Robert. I know, like, I think there's
What, this whole thing?
there's some there's a lot of heckling going on. I imagine practices.
Oh, you know,
and
it's all good natured. It's all in fun.
absolutely.
I wonder if we get anything
Yeah.
done.
But I will tell you, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's kind of what I do. So the chemistry, right? The chemistry, I've had 7 bass players, I've had a handful of drummers, guitar players and stuff. And I'm a really, I'm guilty of trying to play, because music should bring you, it elicits all the emotions, right? But it should bring you joy to do, right? And so I like to play with people that I really like, my friends, you know, or people that I've recently met that I really like. That happens very few and far between, but you know, so I've had a lot of misses with some folks that I've had on board, and you know, let me set the record straight. Everybody, I still love everybody who's been in this band, but the chemistry, you know, finally I was able to roll the dice and finally amass these bangers.
Yeah.
And here we are. This is the best hands down incarnation of this, whatever the hell it is, to date. And I think any piece missing. So when I piss one or all of them off, you know, we're going to be hobbling on 3 legs again. Right. It's all part of that chemistry. Before I let you interrupt me, David Kendall, right? I was trying to get him on. Dave is like a wild horse, right? So you got to take the carrot on the string and you throw the carrot over there, right? And you can't just yank it. You got to kind of lead him into the thing. If he gets skittish, you just got to say, you know, just whatever. Just got to back off. You pull the carrot into the stall. You stick behind him. You slam the door.
What was your carrot? Because
slapped.
a ton of people try to get Dave Kendall in their bands, and
Yeah, see?
he's in plenty of projects, but
I tried for years.
He says, "No, I'll be easy. I'll be in anybody's band." No,
well, no, you know what?
and he
So
talks like that.
anybody watching, oh, nice. You know
Oh,
what?
you just knocked
that
down.
watch- that don't know,
At the third door,
there's absolutely nothing that Dave
the
Kendall
third wall.
cannot play. You know, honestly, he's completely silent now too. I can't even hear a word he's saying, which is good. So like,
Oh, no.
I could just brag on him.
Are you silent?
I'm not anymore.
There you go. Yeah, man. Oh, you're killing the echo.
I have to interject. That whole is a completely. I'm not saying that he's making it up. He just has his own, because we were talking for years. Dude, call me. Hey, I've been trying to call you. I've been trying to call you. 8 months would go by. See him someplace else. Hey, been trying to. So on the show. Nope. I'm in violin, Robert.
Oh, you can see that?
So I'm at a club, at a local club, watching a show, and of mine, and yours, walks up to me, and did I tell you that I'm playing with Robert? No, Robert Andy Robinson. He's like, yeah. I'm like, great. That's awesome. There was super happy for him. And I went to a couple of shows, and it was great, and it was good. And somehow we started talking about doing another project, like an R. And so he came over, we started to jam the thing, and that's how it happened.
Oh, okay.
That's the truth.
Like,
Did you get any of that, Kevin?
well, I was trying to catch some of it, and there was a little echo going on, so I was trying to moderate some audio here on your guys' mics.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
No.
Maybe you should come back in here with us.
I appreciate
No,
the
that-
clarification.
Make it worse.
Okay.
Like,
I got to close the door.
I don't know about these new technology things and such.
that's gonna help. That already helped a bunch. I could tell. I had Robin McCauley on the other day, who was one of my favorite guitarists from back in the '80s day, and unfortunately his audio kept cutting out and
Guitarist.
killed the conversation. Well, no, he's like his voice. He's a singer, but singing for Schenker's band though, you know. But so I wanted to get all those dirty Schenker stories, but instead I just got a bunch of audio nits. But
I got a Schenker story. I was at the light. There used to be a Burger King right down the street from when it was still the Starry Night in downtown Portland. And I was at the light. There was a Burger King here, and the Starry Night was 1 block over. And so at the light, and I see this blonde and this long purple, like violet hair, and I was thinking, all right, some chicks, all right. So they walk up and they got closer. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And as they passed by me, I'm like, those aren't ugly chicks. That's Michael Schenker and Robin McCauley.
oh,
Holy crap. That was the closest I ever got to those guys. My brush with fame right there. I was this close. I could have ran over them. I could have honked at him. I could have done anything.
If you would have run over Michael Schenker, maybe you would have been the next guitarist for, you know.
Oh, that's how you get ahead. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
You got to take one out. Yeah.
Well, let's go into guitar history for a second. Okay, so here's what I saw in looking for some audio and video footage. I did find an interview that there was sort of a feature, not an interview that you did, but there was an interview that Matt McCourt did on his show where he featured Gargoyle. He talked about Robert Anthony Robinson, talked about how he introduced your music to Mike Varney down at Shrapnel, and he was trying to get you shopped around as like the next guitar hero. So another near miss, right? So tell me a little bit about that. And really,
Wow,
kudos to
you're
Matt.
really shoving it up there, huh?
Well,
so what happened was, you see, Matt put his records out on the Wild Dogs and the Mastermind on Shrapnel Records, and he was only doing guitar players until that point. So Matt was telling me, yeah, I'm gonna hook you up with Varney. I'm like, yeah. So one day I get this phone call. Says, hey, is this Robert? I'm like, yeah, who's this? He goes, this is Mike. I go, hey, Mike, how can I help you? This is Mike Varney. I'm like, Matt, you fucking dick. And I hung up.
You
right?
did not
Because
know.
my Barney to me at the time was, I mean, there was no that
Sure.
braille, right? And so he called me back. He's like, please don't hang up on me. He says, I swear to God, this is my Barney. I'm like, no way. We get to talking. He mentions he would like to do, and this is blowing my mind. It still blows my mind to this day. How big, mostly how big of a dumbass I was, and still kind of am, but now, hindsight and all that stuff. But he says, I like the demo that Matt sent me. I like your guitar playing. He says, I'd like to talk about maybe you doing some songs with, and at the time he was using Dean, he was using Billy Sheehan, right? So I'd like to talk about you doing some songs with these guys. And I'm almost speechless at this point. I'm like, well, what do you mean a couple of songs? He says, well, if it works out, I would like to do maybe, and I think he said like a 5-album, 6-year deal or something like that, right? And he explained to me how Marty Friedman had just put his last album for Shrapnel on hold so he could go with Megadeth.
Wow.
And he says, Marty comes back, he's worth 10 times more than just being a Red Shrapnel guy. And he was, and he is to this day. And I'm like, wow, that sounds fantastic. So he says, okay, well, let's talk about the songs. And he did not like my singer. He did not like my drummer. He said the bass player was adequate, but he doesn't use anybody else but him. So basically, he hated all of the guys in my band, and he wanted to completely restructure my songs. Right at the time, I'm young, dumb, and full of rum, clearly,
Right.
and I was like, oh, I just can't do that. These guys are going to be the guys I make it famous with, and so those words echo, 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 echo in my brain to this day. You know what I mean? So talk about putting your foot in your mouth and up your ass at the same time. I don't know how I was standing because both my feet were occupied. And I rue the day, Kevin. No,
Yeah.
you did that wrong. I regret that decision. But, live and learn and live. Now I'm the king of nothing I survey. And I'm wildly unsuccessful.
Well,
And I'm super happy about it. But I'm happy. I got to, do some other things. I got to have my family and my kids and my friends this way, as opposed to, I don't know, some way I probably would not have liked.
yeah. Well, I think your kids and your bride would probably know, they would appreciate the fact that you've been able to stay home and be present. And
It
we
was
all,
it was meant to be that way, I think.
yeah, we all know the musicians that are out there that maybe signed the development deal that ended up just struggling, and they would give anything to have had a relationship that was longstanding or kids or anything like that. So
I see that now, and I'm like, they get to a certain point, it's like they have to kind of go back and figure out and make the parts of their life that they didn't get to make or happen naturally and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, that I see now. Of course, would I trade it? Now being on the side, no.
Sure. Well,
Hell no.
do you have other like career passions?
No, I'm pretty
Okay.
shallow. I don't have a lot of interests. I like chicken a lot. Chicken's good.
Oh God, nice.
I like
Okay,
I
so
like French fries.
do you have so as far as chicken goes, right? So like I've been touring a bunch, and people in certain areas are really specific about their chicken, right? So down here in
Hey,
New
me
Mexico,
too. I don't fuck around about some chicken, bro.
well, so if it's a franchise and you got fast food, they're all big about churches here, or what's the hot chicken down in Cali? I can't think of it now, but Popeyes is sort of a general, and I'm not a Popeyes guy, but as far as chicken goes,
Pollo
you have a
Loco.
chicken.
El Pollo Loco. That's right. We had that on the way back from Disneyland. My son barfed all over the back seat, so I'm gonna have to vote no on El Pollo Loco. Loco's right, motherfucker.
You know what's my hood is El Pollo, El Pollo
Yeah.
Los Pollos Hermanos, right, from Breaking Bad, actually just down in Albuquerque here. So
Yeah, I saw
I
it on
heard that.
Facebook. You posted that.
I asked about career, sort of passions, because the other guys in your band here, I know a bunch about like their specialties, man, and all so incredibly talented. The gentleman in the middle, So, Chris,
Oh!
for people that don't know, you should Chris, throw out your Instagram really quick. How do people find your Instagram?
Under my name.
Chris Olney Illustrations. Okay.
P-H-R-I-S-O-L-N-E-Y.
So
Illustrations.
you
And
guys
it's
have
all
to
up
go
there
out.
on Instagram, and I'm on the Book of Face.
Okay.
The book of face.
The Book of Face.
The illustrations that I've seen, of course, you've got a whole series of hot rods that you've done that are they are photorealistic illustrations. Your work with color and you know your the precision is one thing, but
It's insane.
as somebody who dabbled in art, you know, my dad's a painter and a printmaker and a sculptor, and I started off as an art major, but I didn't have the commitment to really put down and I'm trying to think of the word, like a deliberate stroke, you know, like having to commit something so dark and defined, because I was tentative, you know, and I realized as an illustrator, like you have to make that, you know, it's not like I don't see. You have to mean it. That's exactly right. So
Yeah, you
man,
commit to it.
This is not just like a little side hobby. This is something that you've got a gift for.
This is something that I've worked on since high school. I had an amazing high school art teacher. Through all my years of high school, I had the same art teacher, and he was the one that really kind of brought me up and pushed me forward. But I had this thing where every piece of art I turned in had a car in it. He said, "Do you landscape painting?" In my mind, I heard 57 Chevy with the landscape, and he hated me for that. But total car guy, have been since I was a kid, and that's pretty much what I center my stuff around. All my artwork is cars, bikes, boats, anything mechanical. I'm horrible at drawing faces.
Really? Okay. So the Chris Craft boat that you just put out too, that was what I was going to say. The boat, that Chris Craft boat that you just posted on your Instagram floored me, right? Because it was not just, you know, the lines and the curvature of that structure, but also the reflections in the water, you know, the ripples in the water and everything. It was it's phenomenal work, man. You're really, I'm not trying to blow you up here. You're really deserving of that.
It is amazing, really. I mean, the detail is it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. That was a commission piece I did for a guy that wanted it for hanging in his living room, and on the side of the boat it has his and his wife initials and their anniversary date.
Wow.
So it's kind of a personal piece for him. So
wow,
that's awesome.
It is, yeah. Mr. McGrew, you know, it shows me that your stream signal is really low. So hopefully we don't lose you here. I know you too, man, a phenomenal graphic designer, and you do a lot of work with video and production work as well. So if you have extra time on the outside of Robert Anthony, outside of R.A.R rehearsals, and yeah, like do you find yourself doing a lot of design and editing work?
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing it constantly.
It's really, really quiet. I'm wondering if yeah. It sounds like I'm hearing you off of somebody else's mic, so yours might be muted.
Oh, maybe you're not projecting.
Oh, my mic is here.
Okay, yeah, no, but you look phenomenal, which is that's all.
It's better to look good than to feel good.
I realized, I hadn't really done this at the beginning of the show, but if people are watching this thinking that we somehow got Richie Sambora on the show as part of our band,
oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah,
no, you didn't.
People are probably expecting, oh wow, that's cool. Richie Sambora and Dave Grohl are in Robert Anthony Robinson's band, but no, that's not.
I told you.
Oh, believe me, like Robert, I'm sure
that's so funny. They both have stories about both of them to tell about. Go ahead.
I think I was with Dave Kendall when this story happened. Yeah, so I might have facilitated some of that story. Sorry. Yes,
you did.
So Brian,
You did.
yeah. Tell me what you like to work on.
I mean, like all day, every day, just got done doing some stuff today. Of course, you know, you think it would be, it's not all super interesting stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
today, I mean, it was interesting and fun, but today I went and filmed the basketball game of special needs kids that were being helped by other high school players. It was massively entertaining, but you know, so I'm gonna edit that and hand
That's
it
good.
back over, but it's you know, it's fun. You know,
Hold on a second. I'm gonna translate that.
for
I'm gonna
us.
He
Hey,
did.
Kevin.
He
Hold on.
did some promo for us. It was so entertaining and humorous on many different levels. I'll send it to you. It's an infomercial that we did. We got who do we get? We got Debbie Boone, Peter Marshall. Man, the stars came out to represent. They
Nice.
represented for us, man. I'm so some records, baby. That's it.
Yeah, well, you send me the infomercial. I'll put it on the show notes for this. And while we get Dave Kendall telling me a little bit about what he does on the side, we're going to make sure Dave Kendall gets Brian the Wi-Fi code for the studio there, because that's what's doing it. I think if we get you tied into Wi-Fi, that's what's going to help your audio signal.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta come over to the Wi-Fi.
Okay. This,
I wish I knew it.
Doesn't know what the Wi-Fi code is.
if you can get him on Wi-Fi, I think that's going to solve Brian's
Why don't you
Why don't you
use
share
the
my screen?
hotspot for my
Why
laptop?
don't you share my screen? Why don't you come on over there? He's gonna come on over. Hold on, I'm gonna walk over to Brian. I'm gonna walk over to Brian's room. Hey,
Nice.
there's Brian right there.
I
See, now
love
you
it.
look just as crappy as me.
Nice. You know what?
What is with your newfangled, all your color and your dang old cameras, your newfangled technology?
Now we can share space even.
You dang
Look at
kid.
this, like, here. Now
Huh?
Oh, that's
yeah,
that's nice.
Well,
Really
now I'm
nice.
2 places. No, we're 2 places. We are 4 now.
Our buddy
Fuck yeah.
Skip Stone in chat says Triple Swift is the bomb diggity. So a shout out to Triple Swift and Brian McGrew's.
Yeah, I love those guys. We had a good time. We had a good time.
I've heard that name. I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, it was
Woo!
2003, no, 2002 roughly. 4, 3, 4, whatever. I don't even remember anymore. It was fun. Yeah, it was good stuff. You guys are awesome. Paul Bond, and
He was awesome.
he's doing some folk, kind of a folk Americana type music, and they're just really good.
That's what people expect us all to do when they get to be our age. You know, they expect us all to just go and play coffee shops and acoustic guitars, and I think Dave Kendall will be the first to agree with me that we'll probably be trying to break heads until we're dead, right? So that's
It's my goal.
yeah, man.
That's my goal.
For me, if it didn't affect anybody else on the crowd, going out on stage with a heart attack is like the dream, right? Because then you're like, all right,
I know, right?
That is exactly what happened to my boss. He's my boss. I got hired at the job that I'm at now. He hired me 3 months later, and he was a drummer. 3 months later, he died on stage at the Ash Street. Remember that place?
Of course, I remember the Ash Street.
Where bands used to go to die. In fact, I think all of my bands went there to die. We played all of our last shows there. And so he died. And so it's like, yeah. But that was a great way. It was last song, the last set, heart attack, dropped it.
Wow. At least he waited till the last song. That is a great send-off, man.
Really, man? What a conscientious
When it's
guy.
my time, I'm going to Volcano. I'm going to have
Actually, that might be
all right, Dad, peace out. Boom, right at the Volcano.
you talked about, how like these near misses and how, if you could do things differently. Robert, that might be the way, the send-off, right? So you just, you release the last videos, you put out the last record.
Release of the last album. That'll be the first video of the last album.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's talk about the videos. Dude.
Oh, man.
Everybody already knows about Dave Kendall's side project. If you don't know, all you have to do is just go to watch his podcast that we did just a short time ago. So I'll make sure there's a note in that. You can see everything about Dave Kendall. But the video, okay, so Break It All Again, you just came out with a lyric video for that. The record is so good. Soul metal is what you classify yourself as. All right. No. Listen.
Thank you so much.
Because I'm going to start comparing you to bands now. And sometimes people hate this stuff.
Oh, okay.
To me, I felt like the record is a perfect blend between two of my favorite bands, Seven Dust, and King's X.
Ah, so you read the bio.
Is that in the bio?
Excellent.
No,
Excellent. Thank you.
I hear the harmonies and the melody of King's X for sure. The odd meter stuff and the staccato, abbreviated like chunky guitars and syncopated drums and bass and guitars remind me of my favorite Seven Dust tunes. So I think I mean I was just getting my tattoo
Thank
done.
you so much for that. Funny story.
Yeah.
We opened for King's X. Actually, Dave, did you play that show too? The King's X show? Are you sure? That show? We opened for King's X, right? And it was at the Pine Street.
Wait, no,
No, not that one.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we opened for King's X. I think it was the Gretchen album, right? And freaking, we were doing pretty good locally, right? We opened at the Pine Street. It was freaking tons of people, and we were done. Before we were done. So okay, before we were done, the last 3 songs. That was back in the day, young, dumb, full of rum again. And I really would bring one guitar to the gig. So I broke a string, right? Ty Tabor, out of the kindness of his heart, sends his tech down from way upstairs with a guitar. It was that red Strat with like the black pickguard, right? Sends it down for me to play, right? Okay. Guess what? He was tuned to drop D. Drop D. Drop D. I had never heard no drop D before. So here I am. We start the first of the last 3 songs. I'm like, yeah, let's do the 8/4/4. Hey, that's all I know. One thing, right? You're right. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit! I turned completely red, and for the next 3 songs, I just shredded. Any changes? Anything? Back up? So just shredded. The band was just looking at me like,
oh god. This is Impassioned Fatal.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a freaking nightmare. Luckily, Shane and Dan, the rhythm section, were, and Paul, the lead singer, was just, great front man, and they carried. I was beside myself. I was looking at myself, going, "What the fuck are you doing?" It was fucking amazing. Anyway, that's not the end of it. So we finish our set, and I give the guitar back to the guy, and everyone leaves. Everyone leaves. King's X comes on and plays to my band and our roadies.
Oh, buddy.
It was a fucking nightmare. Since then, I've talked to some other people that know the guys in King's X. Skip Stone is one of the guys, and apparently Ty still talks about that. Yeah, fuck Portland, man. We played there once. It's bullshit. We can never get a crowd there. The first time we played there, everybody left after some shitty opening band.
God, you know what, man? So at one point, I was playing with your contemporary Jeff Lebansky. I was with Lebansky. We were playing at Brabati's, opening for King's X. And as we're finishing our set, somebody comes over and says, "Hey, man, I'm sorry to say this, but King's X isn't going to play." And we're like, "What?" And Ty had apparently dislocated his shoulder that day. And I was like, "Oh, that's bullshit. I bet you they didn't sell it."
What?
But they actually did come out. Ty watched the end of our set in the crowd with a sling on his shoulder. So apparently that's legit. And I was bummed because I was a huge King's X fan. And I just wanted to see it. But
yeah,
man, that's amazing.
Well, so back to the record.
Yeah.
First of all, let me ask you, please tell me, Dave Kendall, that was recorded there in your studio.
Dave did a lot of the tracks here. We did some other mixing and, of course, some mastering. Ron Foster, the freaks, like a motherfucker boy. Woo! But yes, you're correct.
God, it sounds incredible. The mix is phenomenal, and when you listen to bands that have really gotten tight rhythm section and tight, like that type of rhythm across the board. Everything is so, I'm trying to think of the words, like it's syncopated, right? And everything is you've got bass, guitar, and drums all just, sort of like completely together and in sync. When you do something like that, usually, and folks, if you're watching this and you're not in a band, you haven't been in the studio before, typically what you'll do is you'll go in the studio and you'll record rhythm tracks. You've got an idea of the songs. You already know the songs inside and out. So the band will go through and they'll play sort of a rough bass mix where they can get bass and drums, and then they'll maybe have the rhythm guitar that they'll keep in that rhythm, those basic tracks, and then add in post recording where they'll add in rhythm guitars and they'll add in vocals and sort of fine tune those sort of things. But when you've got something that is that succinct and tight and syncopated, how did you guys record this record? Like in order?
Started with click tracks.
Okay.
Started with clicks. I went and I did some scratch rhythms, and everybody gets their tracks. Because I read it in a way that everybody can kind of have their own put. I don't detail the crap out of everything. I do it so everyone can kind of come in and make it their own and put stuff in, because I'm not a bass player. There's stuff, as you know, that bass players do that just make it so big and beautiful. And stuff that drummers do, and just everybody, the things they put in really make the songs, and they make everything come alive. And to be able to do that, I remember Matt McCourt gave me some great advice back in the Love Lode days, Passion Fatal days. I used to say, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on the record if I can't do it live. Fuck that. Now I just throw the kitchen sink at it, and then we make it happen. Thank God these guys sing like the Moron Tabernacle Choir, because without that, we wouldn't be able to do none of this crap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody in the band
combined with
sings.
the playing and the singing, all that, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Okay, so you start with the clicks. You've got those basics down. Dave, you take those reference tracks then and go in and lay down your drums.
I've gone to the dark side.
Okay.
I did. I am now triggering in the box sounds with an electronic kit. Now I'm playing the song.
Yeah.
So yes. So it's the same thing as it. May I? I'm going to turn the device here.
Yeah, please. Yeah, show us the studio. All right, so there she is. There's the Roland kit.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, the Elisa.
The Elisa Strike Pro, yeah. And then in there, see those? Hey guys. Hey.
I have them muted.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'm gonna hang on. I gotta get out here.
Is that Sherry?
Wait, they said they didn't say anything.
No Sherry here. Hey,
Here, I'm gonna mute the other ones here. One sec here.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
All right, so if you're
then there's that.
Dave's giving this. What's the name of your studio, Mr. Kendall?
DJ K. Awesome.
Okay.
Great name.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that name. And we go in here, and then. Hey!
Oh, look at this! One big happy family.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And then I've got this. That's the computer and the speakers. That's where I listen to things. And then that's the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's his lamp.
Oh my God. This is the professionals, man. The funny thing is,
You can't just
get anything done.
You can't just get a lamp
Just
like
get a lamp like that.
if you listen to the record, there's no way that you wouldn't think that it wasn't recorded in some massive studio in LA. It's really, really big. And the videos too. So the Truth video that you guys did is, it looks like a big budget video. Did you shoot that at Billy Blues? Is that what it looked like, the stage there?
No, we did that. We played this club called Airbus in Kelso, Washington, right? And the place you saw the video. That is the place. We did nothing to the room. All that shit is in there.
Wow.
All of it. It's insane. It's just, you could just, Dan Pred, I'm sorry. Dan Pred actually shot the video for us. Dan Pred from Dan Reed. He spent a whole day in there just videotaping all the shit in that whole club, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. We loved the club so much, we decided to shoot the video, and they were kind enough to let us do it. And it just turned out great. I mean, it was just us playing the song. It's not really, really good.
It's a great song, man. That's one of the songs.
Thank you.
It's got that has a Seven Dust vibe for sure. You know, the rhythms sound like that first Black Seven Dust record. And,
Thank you. Big grooves.
You know, Dan Pred he happened to be in the room the night that Dave Kendall got his Dave Grohl stories. So yeah, we were in the venue together. And yeah, man. So kudos to Dan Pred. What's that, buddy? Yeah, why don't you do that? But we just lost your audio there for a second again. So,
so now I'm sitting behind. So I'm sitting. Why don't we just do this?
Hey, what's up? Now it's Station.
What's up, bro?
Make your face bigger.
What's happening, dude? How do I get bigger? How do I embiggen myself?
how's that?
It's terrible.
We've gone from 5 to 3. This is good.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell the story real quick and then I'm out. So you and wasn't that your brother's birthday? I think that was your brother's birthday.
We were out celebrating my brother's birthday. That's right.
And yes, Dan Pred was there, and you and I went to the bar. Oh, and we were visiting some
They were going to school.
Yes, not ladies. We were doing some entertainment. No cocaine.
No.
And we walk up to the bar, and there was one of the exotic dancers sitting at the end of the bar, and we ordered there was a little of that, and I think we ordered our drinks, and you, Kevin, turned to the very nice exotic dancer sitting at the end of the bar and said, "Hey, have you met my friend Dave Grohl?" And yeah, well, no. What she did was she actually spread her legs and said, "Do me right here."
Yeah.
Was exactly what happened.
I want you to make me pregnant, is what she said.
That was exactly what happened.
Yes.
And then I, slunk off in a corner somewhere and went on with the rest of my life. Thank you, Kevin, for that.
Yeah, well, you were very, very humble, very gracious.
And that wasn't the only time that happened either, which is hilarious.
I love to wingman. It's a good time. Yeah, but you did have a girl vibe about you.
I have not heard that story. Oh yeah,
Never.
Oh yeah,
Really?
holding out. Yeah, no, not holding up.
She still talks about it because the 2 children that she has think that Dave Kendall was their dad. So anyway, let's talk
lies. Those are lies.
Break it all again. Hey, R.A.R.
Yeah.
So you write these songs. They start off with you. You're writing lyrics and melody.
Yeah.
All right. So your royalties all go to R.A.R. It's just that song is stuck in my head all the time. I lost you. 1 sec. What was that, buddy?
In about 10 years,
yeah, I'm getting some cancellation on your audio. What is going on there? That's
He's fucking it up for everybody.
yeah.
Am I doing? Hang on. Hold on. Is everything just wrong? How about that? Is that any better?
It's because Dave projects a lot more.
You must speak into the microphone.
Poor Chris is sitting back in the corner, just like hearing all these stories. Like, hey, when are we going to talk about my illustrations again? Or here's the thing, man. Bass players always get the brunt of it all, don't they? But no, man. I was just thinking about Break It All Again. The song is really, really hooky, and it's probably the most commercially viable song on the record too. I think So
Yes.
there's a new lyric video out, and I'm curious because I see like Larry Touring here is on the chat as well. Larry does a lot of work with placement and licensing and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure you've worked with Larry all in the past. How does somebody like a R.A.R. go out and get their music where it's absolutely worth every bit as much of a commercial commodity as a Daughtry or a Seven Dust or like a band that the hooks are all there, the songs are all there, they're really, really good. So how do you get your stuff out there? Because I'm asking you somewhat facetiously, right? As an artist, I mean, what you want to do is have the brass ring, right? You want everybody to get a hold of your record and discover you and have the next opportunity, right? Where millions of people are streaming your songs and you're out playing live. what are you doing right now to get your stuff out there besides putting out really good looking and sounding product?
Oh man, what are we doing? There's a lot of art to it, and as you probably know, the record business isn't like it used to be. It's completely different. Now with Spotify and Lars was right. They have to ruin everything, right? Okay, so pretty much, it takes all you gotta be able to write a song that doesn't suck, and write a rhythm, and then produce, you gotta engineer, produce, master, master all that stuff, and get it to a place where you can actually, most people are doing digital remixes, that's fine, something like a CD or something like that. And you have to be able to put it out there. I mean, if you can advertise, take out an ad, and then you get people calling you, okay, great, or messaging you, saying, hey, I'd like to buy your record. Okay, that's great. So that's good for a while. What happens when you get one you can handle, right? What happens when it becomes more people distribution comes into play? You have to have your music everywhere music can be available, right? Okay, let's say you get lucky enough to get a distribution deal. You get your music placed everywhere, right? If nobody knows it's there, what's the point? So that's when the promotion comes in, the advertising, the promotion, all that stuff, right? So you got to promote, let people know the record's out there. Promotion is kind of a big, proof of that word, if you will, kind of a catch-all word. Promotion means videos, ads, social media. Social media. But those are just two of the main parts. It takes a lot of stuff, right? And if you're lucky enough, you get to play that stuff live for people, right? And then hopefully you can do the recording justice by having a team of bangers that make it all sound like that, and actually, not only sound like the record, make that live place that live should be. Live should be something else.
Yeah.
And all that combined, hopefully, you can generate enough interest. And then hopefully you can generate enough interest to take it further, because you can only do what you can do and get it to people, and then if you continue those interactions and all that stuff, then you can just try to make stuff happen on top of that.
Yeah.
Promoters, even fans. I love talking to people online. People make a comment, I respond. When I'm there, I respond, and we'll just strike up a rapport. I think it's important. I just like talking to people and shooting the shit, and if it turns out they like the music, that's even better. It's a super bonus. So it's there's so many things involved with that, but mostly put out a good record and then smear it all over the earth.
It's a tough.
Rub your sin glands on every porous surface available.
It's tough.
And that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
So you got the video, you got and so are you using social media then? You're using ads out there to get the.
I am actually. Okay. I put an ad out for Truth. We got like 150,000 views on Truth. I just wanted people to see the song.
Yeah.
I wanted people to put it out there. It's like it's just like you pull on your pants. Woo!
Yeah.
And that's it. This is it. Check it out. You do that, you take out an ad, show it to the world, and some people are going to go, oh, nice.
Yeah.
They'll click on it, they'll watch it, and then from there, you get some interaction with the music. Maybe get more streams, of course. That's, ideal, but streams aren't the end result. Ideally, in this day and age, you want enough recognition and interaction with people that when you come through town, people are going to come see you.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll buy your shirts. Maybe they'll buy the album, that kind of thing. Just to know that people are liking the music. That's really most of it.
Okay.
That people cheer the music and they like it. That's really most of it.
As an artist, that's as what we could all hope for. If you put something out, then you're vulnerable and it's authentic, right? It represents really who you are. If people consume it because it's good or because they appreciate it, that's all anybody could ever hope for.
That's it.
Get in front of those people, right, is important. And you talked about being able to, you shoot a video and you put it out there on all the streaming channels and everything. And you said ideally, enough people would get it that they'd buy your shirt or buy some product from you. If there were an opportunity, say, Metallica, they just announced their new tour dates.
Yes.
They got a hold of the record. They said, we need R.A.R to open our tour, right? Is that an experience that you would jump all over and say, yeah, we're going to go out and tour with Metallica?
Nah, fuck those guys, man. After Master Puppets, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry if you're listening. I am sorry. No.
Well, I say this. We're older. We all have jobs now, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
I get it. I have my obligations to the orphanage like 5 days a week, dude. I gotta be 5 o'clock. That's when me and the kids. I mean, it's a big deal to me. They're my heart. So, I can't just yeah.
Okay. So
I think if you make 25 kids, you got an obligation to the little fuckers.
Right. Well, okay. So we won't go Metallica. What if? So Seven Dust. We all love them. The great band, right? Of course. But they're not playing the venues that they used to play 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? So they're going around and they're playing, like 1,000-seat venues. So that if you had a support opportunity with that, it's really not about the money. It's about the exposure. Great to do when you're 20, right? It's a little harder to do when they're our age. And so having to make those sacrifices, are you guys in a position where you could say, yeah, well, we're going to take 6 weeks off from life and we're going to go off on tour playing with Seven Dust in theaters?
I'm going to say yes, and then we'll work it out later. So
I can speak for myself.
That's the official answer.
I'm independently employed
and wealthy.
Self-employed.
As am I. I'm rich as a motherfucker, man. So
we got a lot of money, dude. A lot of money. So anytime Seven Dust needs a support act, I'm totally on board because I've got absolutely nothing else to do.
And our dicks are huge. You can see our dicks from space.
This is the most humble band I've ever met. The guys that it's all represented. Actually, you know what? You remind me of another guy that's just up north as well. He's another guitarist, and he's told me that really the Northwest knows nothing about rock and roll and heavy metal except for him. And usually in California, where you can buy awards for being, the greatest.
I saw that one snuck in there. Woo!
I wonder.
All right, so we're gonna throw away Metallica. We're gonna throw away Seven Dust. Dan Cranshaw and Garden of Eden calls you, and they say, "Hey, I'm gonna take you guys on tour. I'm gonna take you guys on tour, and so we're gonna do Longview, Kelso, Salem."
If you do them all in a row, it's a tour.
Well, yeah, but I want you to play those shows. You got to buy your own tickets. All right, so yeah, and we bring this up because so guys, kids, if you're watching this, and some people that watch the show are musicians that are really, we're being sarcastic in some ways, but they really.
I'm waiting for this to light up.
They're desperate to play music for a career, right? And you don't want to dash the hopes and the dreams of these young kids. So you got to be real about some of the stuff, and the pay-to-play thing is kind of a reality in some venues and some places, right?
It has been for 35 years.
It is,
depending on where you are.
Yep.
And we all pay to play in some way, but the idea that somebody might add you onto the opening act for their show if you buy a certain amount of tickets, and it's your responsibility to sell those, and that's your compensation for the gig.
A lot.
Now, you guys all have so much history and exposure and experience in this industry. So say you're talking to a 15-year-old kid, right, they're a sophomore in high school, they watched the Truth video and they said, oh my God, that is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. Give them some realistic advice about what. Why are you laughing?
Don't do it. No, I'd say do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Do it because you love to play. You love to be creative. You love to be in a room with freaking sweaty dudes in a little packed space and laughing your asses off 70% of rehearsal and playing the other 30% because that's pretty much what we do because we have a freaking blast. But seriously, you have to really commit to I hate to say it because it's going to sound totally dipshit and I don't care. You got to commit to the art. You got to do it because you love it. You have to do it because it's what you do. You can't do it going, hey, man, I'm going to go play these big-ass gigs and I'm going to get a Grammy and I'm going to be a rock star. Don't do it for that reason. Just don't.
But if it happened for them, would it be this is a motherfucker. You little shit.
Yeah. No, like,
Now, my best advice would be like,
yeah.
throw them all the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I talk about this a lot on the show about that the hang is so critical, right? And I talked about too about you guys assembling this all-star group. You guys have, you know, 100 years of collective, or 200 years of collective professional music experience.
Wow, that hurts, dude. Jesus Christ. Am I bleeding?
My pancreas. Where's the pancreas?
Was the camera at that many years?
Ah, my pancreas.
My shoulder hurts.
I thought it was at least 300.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Kevin. I thought it was.
Right, see, I lumped in Garden of Eden and sarcasm all in one sentence. See, so
Where is he?
yeah.
I'm looking for Crenshaw on here.
yeah.
That was Stan Rimshaw.
I think we blocked each other. It's okay. But
Oh, did you?
no, it's fine.
We all have great Crenshaw stories. And Crenshaw, he badgered me for so many years about going on tour. I finally said, "Okay, dude, give me the record." They said, "I'm here." I'm like, "Okay." You said what, 1,000 a night or something like that to go and play on your. I said, I got the time. Let's do it right now. It's like, and I looked at his drummer, Pete Laughlin or whatever. I said, "Pete, I'm here, right?" And he goes, "Yep, you're here." I said, "No, now what, Dan?" And don't get me wrong. Dan and I went to high school. Well, he says we went to high school together. I think he was 32 when I was a sophomore. And so yeah, we went to the same school, different millennia, I believe. But I talk shit. Everybody talks shit about Dan. He's my buddy. He's been my buddy for a long time. I just some people you need to take with a bag of salt, and he's one of those guys. He's got a good heart. He just can't help himself. I don't know, Just,
you're right. So anyway,
people's brains, they're wrinkly in different ways. It's weird.
Yeah. Enough about. You said a bag of salt. I like that. So enough of the bag. Let's go. Brian McGrew, what would you tell a 15-year-old about this industry? Because you've really been able to balance stuff between your passions and your relationships and music all together. And it seems like you do a really good job of it.
I'd like to think so, but I would just say, like, not to be cliche, but yeah, do it because you want to do it, but don't do it thinking that you're going to become a rock star or anything. Just because you love music. Have a parallel career at the same time, which is what I've always done. I've always been in the music industry or in the entertainment industry somewhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. And what?
Christopher Walken.
Listen, what you got to do is you got to have two parallel careers going, or you're going to crash and burn. It's for sure. It's going to happen. So don't do it.
Oh my God! You see this? If a 15-year-old aspiring musician watched you guys just hanging out, of course they want to do this for a living. Honestly, because we've all been in bands where the hang is just not there. And it's like pulling teeth, man. It's being in a relationship that just is not going to work, and you're like, okay, just pull the plug, right? Because there's just no point. Even if
like this with this group right now, like I said, and for a living, geez, I'm on my break. I got my break, dude.
Hey, Chris, you're the one that gets to provide some insight. Do you have kiddos?
I do. I have a 23-year-old son.
Oh, 20. Okay, I have a 23-year-old son as well. All right, and all my discussion with my 23-year-old to not chase music, it fell on deaf ears. So he's after it. So, is your son a musician?
No, he's not. He picked up the bass guitar a few years ago and was just messing around on it. And they have YouTube now, so
Didn't master it.
I paid them for that. But he has all the tools there. He has all my equipment. He's welcome to play at any time, but it's just not a big interest for him. He loves music. He loves all genres of music, from the 40s on up to classic rock and some new stuff as well. But playing for him is not a priority.
Yeah. Well, but what would you tell if he was back? He was 15, sophomore in high school, and he says, "Dad, You know, I watched you in Factor 5, and I felt like, you know, like I want to, you know, I just want to do this thing, man. You know, what advice, what recommendations would you give him?
I I would say go for it.
Yeah,
But as Brian said, have something to fall back on.
yeah,
But yeah, put your heart into it and just play with the right people and play for fun. And eventually, if you get with the right people for the right reasons, it may happen for you.
yeah. I, you know, it's funny that I ask these things, and if they're your own kids, the last thing they're going to do is listen to you. You know, like I mean, and that's just
Yeah.
what we do. Is you know, if our parents were to say, you know, don't do this, you know, you're going to do it. You know, you're going to do everything the opposite your parents say, or at least that's how I was. You know, but you know, it's interesting because I've been seeing more teenagers at our shows when we've been on the road lately, and I love connecting with them. You know, it's really cool to see their eyes light up and they get excited about what you're doing or maybe the interaction they had with you after the show. And I realized that people's connection is it happens very seldom. You know, I mean, even you know, teenagers these days, right? They're everything's about social media. They don't really interact even you know on weekends. They're not getting together and going out places a lot of times. They're just chatting with each other online, you know, and
Yeah.
and so I love it when a parent finds an all ages show and they're able to bring the kids, you know,
Mhm.
and I think young people would totally resonate with your stuff because Robert, from what I'm hearing too, your lyrics, you know, you've got a lot of stuff that's relatable to you know the everyday person, man. I mean, whether it's a struggling 16-year-old kid, you know, and dealing with challenges or relationships, and you know, dealing with
Thank you. I think so. You know, that's unfortunately, you know, got songs about addiction. That's real shit, and that's real stuff. I don't, I don't know. I don't write a lot of fantasy stuff. I read a lot of real world stuff. I mean, you know, I know spring chicken, so you know, I know about stuff. I've seen some stuff. I've been through some stuff, and to me, it's better when it's about real stuff.
yeah,
You know, it says you know a couple of our videos, a medicated song and video, and now break it all again. It's a little more about a little about addiction, a little about domestic situation, kind of stuff like that. You know, but real stuff. I think it's important to talk about that stuff, and it's I'm not trying to really. It's just things that I don't know. It just happens. You know, I write songs in a bunch of different ways, and that one, Break It All Again, actually just kind of came out. You know,
it's a
just kind
great
of
story.
happened like that. Lyrics just happened like that too. So it's weird when that stuff happens. You know.
Yeah, the spontaneity. I mean, it makes it authentic, right? Because if it just comes from the soul, but yeah, I talked about all ages shows. Of course, this one's not all ages, but the pairing that you guys have coming up on March 4th at Billy Blues with the Loyal Order, I think is just awesome. I think you know, like really, what a great combination of bands for that show.
That's going to be really, really awesome. We've been talking. Actually, the Loyal Order and us, we did Under the Stars, and you know, Brian is really good friends with Jeff, and everybody. You know, of course, everybody knows everybody, and you know, so we kind of always, you know, thought about doing a show, but we got a chance to play together, and we're like, yeah, we got to do something together. And so Jeff and I kind of kicked it around a bit, and I know Bill is a good friend of mine from Billy Blues. You know, he's been wanting to get the Loyal Order in there also, and
Mm.
he's always been really, really generous to me in this band. Always gives
Yeah,
us a place to go, you know, and play and feel at home. I mean, my friend was in there when he was first opening that place, and we were there, guy, every other weekend, and you know, so I feel a real kinship with that place. In fact, my fat face is on the wall up there. If you go in there, you can see my face on the wall up there. So playing Billy Blues with those guys and another band, Beautiful Skeletons. We all are on Von Artists. We're all Von Artists, and we all share the same distribution. And so it's kind of a family type scenario there. And being at Billy's too, it's just going to be It's going to be great. It's down home. We're looking to pack the place.
Yeah.
Seeing the reason we should be able to, you know, the sound system, great lights, great food, great service, great drink, great everything. It's going to be fantastic.
I'll definitely like send one up. I think you're right. Bill and Cody there at Billy Blues, guys. If you're watching this and you're anywhere in the Portland area and you haven't been up there,
You got to get there, man. You're missing out if you haven't been there yet.
They are as dedicated to their patrons as they are to the bands. I've never seen.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen a venue take such concern for bands. I know like, when the pandemic started coming about and they were trying to find ways to still bring people out to shows and still bring, you know, make sure bands had places to go play. And it's a rare thing. And, you know, if you are a patron and you've gone out to these shows, you should realize that venues like that really need to be celebrated and supported. So get out there to Billy Blues as often as you can. And certainly March 4th, this show with Beautiful Skeletons and R.A.R with the Loyal Order. Cool pairing. I could see you guys doing, you know, a tour. I mean, really, just.
That's funny you talked about that because we actually, a couple of us have been kind of talking about that. I've been kind of some stuff together where we're talking with folks in other states, and I've offered kind of a package deal with, you know, a couple of these bands, and I've talked to a few of these bands, including, I want to give him a shout out to Glenn Cannon and The Damage Done. Banger from Seattle, man. Those guys are freaking badass. Glenn, if you're listening, which you probably aren't, you dick, but those guys are freaking badass, and we're doing a lot of shows with them. So between, you know, Glenn Cannon, The Damage Done, Beautiful Skeletons, Loyal Order, and us, I think there's a lot of fires we could start. You know, and I've been kind of shopping it around. You know anybody that's interested in your area, you let us know. We'll come down there and we'll eat all your food and burn your house down. It'll be great.
Definitely, man. Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Santa Fe, the Tumble Route here, perfect venue for it. And Albuquerque would be a great spot too, man. So yeah, I'd love to see you here. But,
okay, when?
You know,
tell us when. We'll come down.
I'll be there next week. Actually, I got a gig up in the Elsinore for the first time.
No
shit. Flock of Seagulls is actually coming, to Oregon. It's nuts.
Really?
Yeah, I move away, and all of a sudden the band comes back. Yeah, so
we'll go.
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. February 15th, we're playing with this remarkable Depeche Mode experience. You know,
we're all gonna need +3 for each one of us. Right, +3.
I can check for you that night, Kev, if you want. I can check for you.
And if you can get us some drink tickets too, God, that'd be sweet.
That'd be awesome.
Fucking drink tickets.
Yeah.
And food, I mean, I don't want the lobster. I'll just take a burger and some fries and shit like that.
I don't know that they have a Four Seasons in Salem, but if they do, you're all hooked up. Yeah, you know, that is
one season.
Like a one season. One season.
I will say the one thing about coming back home is that I'm not exaggerating when I say that at least 50 people have said, "Can you put me on the list +1?" And,
you know, I have never heard that.
I just, you know, I was so excited, you know, when our singer said, "Hey, we got this show in Oregon. Is Salem anywhere close to you?" And I said, "Oh, it's a homecoming. I get to go back and, you know, see my kids and the pug and get hit up by everybody to be on the list."
I get to let everyone I've ever met in for free to my show.
I will pay to see you, Kevin. I will pay.
It's a fun show.
Dina in the same boat.
God, you know, I got to tell you, man, I was just thinking like the March 4th thing may not happen, but I would love to see you guys, and of course, it'd be awesome to bring Loyal Order in too. You know, they've been buddies. I've worn Loyal Order shirts on this show when I have specific artists related. So when I had Paul Sorrentino on, and Jeff Buhner from Loyal Order is also playing with a ramped up version of Rough Cut.
And fine. We'll send you some merch. Jesus.
So yeah, maybe if you know, if I do run into you, if you have a Robert Anthony Robinson shirt, I'd love to help promote that, or a Love Lode shirt, or Passion Fatal shirt, or Gargoyle shirt, or you know, Factor 5, or maybe a Triple Swift, or Sweetie, the Russian Brides.
What's that?
Oh, a Colorfield shirt, of course.
That's so funny how it's in black and white. That's funny to me.
Dave Kendall, will you give Carla Kendall a sweet hug?
I think he's going out to see about something else.
You message me your address and I will provide you with items to wear on this show. Don't you worry.
he was gonna go and get his Michelle Lynn fan club shirt right now. So I guys, hey, while he's out of the room,
He
let
had
me
a
just
gargoyle G-string made.
there he is. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh yes! Oh
I
my
got
god,
him.
buddy, and that even looks like my size. That's a 4X. Oh wow! I have an autographed copy, but not that one. Oh, that is a handsome man. Guys, if you've not,
We'll send it all to you.
Here's a little side story for you, Kevin.
No side
all
story.
right, you're gonna have to get closer. Hold on. Step closer to the mic, will you, Chris? All right. Yep. Go ahead.
Better? All right.
Yep.
You were talking about Ollie's show. So I got a little story for you. Kind of a funny little nugget. 1987 concert. Gargoyle. Passion Fatal.
I told you. We're doing this.
I didn't know.
Time.
I didn't know either one of them. I knew the singer, Ken Rockman from Gargoyle. Dude, come check out my band. And I loved the tape. I listened to the tape. I wore it out. So I went to go see Gargoyle, and who's opening up the show? Passion Fatal.
Wow.
Robert looking just like Prince.
I told you.
That was my first show.
I told you.
And so, as you can see, I'm much younger than these guys. They were my first concert.
Right.
Chris just.
That was 1979.
I told you that. I tell you this. Those guys.
Yeah, there is something incestuous. Like I said, I moved to Portland in '94, and by that time, everybody said, "Oh, so and so, so," and it really is like this tiny town that happens to have 1 million people, in the suburbs. But oh, look at this. Skip Stone's asking, did Gargoyle open for Lubansky in May of 1987?
We did.
Yes. Wow. That.
Yep.
And
If you see that Lubansky, you tell him I've been trying to get a hold of him for like 10 years. You tell him to call me.
He just reached out to me to do the show, and so we'll see. Because I did try to catch up with him when I was traveling through Woodburn last time, and Jeff Lubansky is another one too, man, that I played with for a couple years and was one of the most talented musicians I ever played with in my life. And I really think he's one of those guys like you, that was put on this planet to play music. There's a reason that he was put here. And I wish that his music was celebrated by more people universally, because I think
he's legendary. That guy.
Was put on this planet.
Well, Chris, you got to speak louder. I'm sorry. I can't hear anything Chris is saying now, unfortunately.
Damn it, Chris.
I think you're just.
I need to come over.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, we're all coming together.
Look at this.
This is the way I want to do it in the punk
right.
race.
There we go. All right, now go ahead.
Okay.
Yep. Now this is good. I'm going to move.
No, what I was saying is Jeff Lubansky was put on this earth to play music as loud as possible.
Yes.
Anyone in this room can die for that.
Yep. My hearing suffered from the couple years that I played with him, for sure, among other things. But along with my mental state, maybe. But I love him, man. Got a lot of love in my heart for him, and for all, even my heckles with Dan Crenshaw, man. I realize he can't help himself, so I have no hatred towards that guy. How could you?
No. People are, and they do what they do.
You know what? If everybody was the same, how boring would this world be, right? So
super boring.
Yeah, man. So my recommendation for everybody is get your flights booked now. No, Chris, don't go away. There we go. Yeah, get your flights booked now to Portland, Oregon, so then you can jump across to North Plains. You can go to Billy Blues on March 4th. Fill that room up. It only holds 400 or 500 people, man. So you guys have to do it, right? You got to pack the room. Get there early because they have the greatest burgers in town, or steaks, so grab some dinner.
Ooh, yes.
And make sure you see beautiful skeletons. You're going to love the R.A.R show. I know, man. I really do. I'm not just saying. I love this new record. I was excited about it. And I can't wait to see, some really good things happen for you guys. I would love to help you move. Man, if you can get a little tour going, I would help you move through New Mexico, because
that'd be awesome. Our music hair is really well.
Oh, yeah.
You can tailor it.
Seems, we're very flexible. We're like seed in the wind.
Right. Yes.
So you know
Yeah,
that guy. You know that guy. You know.
The bald guy up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bald guy.
I didn't say that.
No, I did.
Bald guy. I didn't say that, sir.
No,
No, sir.
no, he knows that's part of the deal here. This is when we play. I do this, and that way I keep some of it going, in tradition.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and then people go, "Oh my God, I love that you still have your hair." And you're like, "Yes, I'm 7 years old." Yeah. So yeah. What's that?
We're perfect match. Our music.
Yes.
You
The
just
perfect match. Yes. So I'm going to put this back up here again. We've got R.A.R. You guys, if you go to robertanthonyrobinson.com, you can get, I'm sure that there are links to the new record. It's all the streaming platforms.
There are links. You can go to robertanthonyrobinson.com. You can go to R.A.R. on Facebook, Robert Anthony Robinson on Facebook, the R.A. Robinson on Twitter. You go to my Instagram, same name. Our Orchard link to buy the album. You could buy CDs. You could buy digital, whatever. It's all over the place. Check our social media, and I have literally smeared it on everything. If you
Shout out to Mod Artists for helping you guys, sort of get out to the masses. So, Larry, thank you for being there in the chat as well, and thank you, Mrs. Olney, for offering to send me a Mr. Rattlebones shirt. Man, I'm just,
Awesome.
Mr. Rattlebones!
I have a big stick of butter Rattlebones.
man, it's-
You get a great big giant care package. Kevin.
I'm gonna be able to have something else besides a Prince shirt to wear. Nice, this will be good.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll send you some of my
I may
zucchini bread.
even- we take
Whoa.
Basic.
What a
Wow.
gift. What a
That's
gift.
special. He doesn't just give those out.
No, I know. Well, I'll pay. I need to buy a
No,
Chris Craft.
tell him.
I'm gonna buy a Chris Craft boat so I can have you draw me one. But those are like $100,000 though, so I need a lot more Flock of Seagulls gigs for that. So, hey guys, if you got here late, make sure you go all the way back, watch this video. You're gonna have lots of laughs. The record is phenomenal. Go out and check out the new video for Break It All Again. And Robert Anthony Robinson, Brian McGrew, Dave Kendall, Chris Olney, thank you guys so much for being here and consolidating all this beautifulness into one camera. I think that's glorious.
Yeah.
That was nice how it happened that we all just came together.
Yeah, that was my whole plan from the beginning.
Back to the incest thing, I'm telling you. Look, we're alive.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Years ago on this
My
thing.
God.
I know, that's true.
400 years right there.
450 years of oh my God. This is good. Now, Rob, you got to get back to your shift, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The orphanage. I got to go.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. I have Rob Lane from the UK that's popping up here on the 5th. And then next week, let's see. Hold on a second.
Us again.
We'll do this. We'll come back.
No, I mean,
Actually, well, they just announced it. I was making sure that it was okay for me to announce. Appetite for Deception, the world's most authentic Guns N' Roses tribute band, just announced their retirement. They're doing the show next week. So the band that kind of brought the tribute scene to a whole new level in the Portland area, they're calling it quits, but we're gonna have them on the show, and like you guys, a bunch of goofy hecklers, so
nice.
but
No one? No one?
Pistols and
That's a good
tulips.
one. Hey,
No one?
I do have to say one thing, Kevin.
Yeah, buddy.
Congratulations to you on your induction into the local Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Here we are. Jesus criminy.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You deserve it.
Man, I got a major imposter syndrome thing going on there. I honestly, but I'm grateful for it, man. It was even harder knowing that I was leaving the next day from Oregon for New Mexico. But yeah, it was very
Way to go.
Yeah.
Nice job,
That's
Kev.
a good move.
Nice.
That's
it was
Way to thumb your nose at everybody.
Yeah.
it's all planned out, but I do have the award sitting up here on my shelf, you know. So yeah, man, I thank you for that. It was I feel grateful and silly at the same time. So, well, because I mean, you know. Anyway, so
Is it heavy?
I'm
Is the
sorry.
award heavy?
It is.
Is it weighty?
Oh, that's good.
Is it maybe
Yeah.
gold or something?
Here.
You got. Oh, there he is. It's so small. I can't really see him down there.
Oh, that. Oh, dang.
I
Can
had
we
gotten to show
blow
it.
you up somehow? Where's he at?
Hey,
No!
oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Whoa,
That's too much of us. Whoa.
Very cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Dude.
Oh, that is sparkly.
Wow. You could kill a man with that thing.
That is nice.
I had to, that was yeah, that was special.
Wow.
Anyway, man,
That's a good one.
to me,
That is a good one. That's a good one.
having been a transplant from Montana, Oregon was everything to me, and the Oregon music scene was everything to me, you know, and it was a place that I just jumped into, you know, 100%, man. And so it meant a lot. It, you know, I feel like I don't like award shows or anything like that, because I feel like how can you say that one band is worth more than another one? By the way, I didn't buy this, believe it or not. I didn't, you know, speaking of that, but you know, like I don't like talent shows or anything like that, where they say that one band or one person is better, because, you know, it's like saying which painter is better, you know, between Rembrandt and Picasso. They're completely different painters, right? And so it's objective, you know, and so I just. Terry Courier had mentioned to me that he felt like it was more character and stuff. So if I could have, I don't know, man. I mean, like, because there are a million other musicians that, you know, that I felt like were much more deserving in terms of abilities.
Oh, it goes deeper than that, Kev. You pulled me through some dark places personally, dude. I'm with you.
Well,
Love
man,
it.
right back at you. Oh my God. Okay, this has gotten like seriously like much cooler than the Paul Shortino episode. Man, yeah, no, dude, I got lots of love and respect for all of you guys, and Mr. McGrew, man, I miss playing with you too, buddy. You know, I do.
We had some fun times, dude.
Yes, we did, and hopefully, you know, well, I'll do it again sometime. Oh my God, like I thought you had somebody like teabagging your camera right there. That was crazy.
I like that.
That was nice.
Terrible.
Yeah, you guys are fun. So listen, we hopefully everybody that ends up watching this between now and March 4th knows to get up to Billy Blues, fill that room up, and also go check out the record, check out the Loyal Order, check out Beautiful Skeletons. I had not heard that band yet, but I'm looking forward to checking them out. And oh, there you go. Look at this. Man, you know what? If you weren't in the band, you'd be a great publicist, actually.
I know, right?
Yeah, phenomenal. I like. Oh, and there's Glenn Cannon. All right, from Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. All right, man.
Classic rock band.
All good friends, all
Monster band.
super people, you know.
Yeah, man. That's if you can find a group of bands like that you can tour together, where everybody's a good hang.
Mm-hmm.
You can all share the same bus. You can eat together. You know, you can stay in the same hotels and not hate each other. So.
Oh, look at the time.
So that's a rare thing. So, Dan, thank you guys so much. Brian,
Thanks, Kev.
Thanks for racing traffic to get there too, man. I appreciate it.
That was good.
Everybody have a wonderful weekend. And Robert, when you and I see each other next, we can have a little Prince off, right? I can't play guitar like you.
You better practice up, man. You better practice up, man, because I was. I got all that shit, bro. I feel like we should clap. Want to clap? Clap. It looked great. I can't make any shots.
What kind of clap?
I think when we end the show, we should just clap.
Oh, like a golf clap? Oh, yay! All right. Thanks to everybody watching.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Everybody,
subscribe to the show, like this episode, and become a member.
standing ovation. Standing ovation.
Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful week, guys.